sideways, holding tight, praying hard through every fight. Got no wins, but I got pride. Made it through the other side. Yellow flags like warning signs, but I ain't falling for their lines. Got nerves of steel, a shaky hand. This ain't a game, it's fight or land. Saw that 18 catch the wall, 21 spun, took out them all. But somehow I found the lane, like Moses through that fire and rain. Yeah, I thread the needle, dodge the flame, every pileup calling my name. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, praying hard through every fight. Got no wins, but I got pride. Made it through the other side. No checkered flag, no champagne rain, but I kept it clean through the carnage and pain. One more lap, one more breath, a dance with danger, a race with death. Still I thread the needle, feel the flame. Every turn's a twist of fate's game. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, out of chaos into light. No first place, but man, I ride with fire still burning inside. Yeah, I thread the needle in this wild racing ride. Strapped in tight, green lights flashing, rubbers burning, hearts are clashing, tires screaming that southern heat. 200 strong on the NASCAR beat. Lap 5 wreck on turn 4. Smoke so thick can't see the door, but somehow I slip right through like a ghost in red, white, and blue. 'Cause I thread the needle, dodge the flame, every pileup calling my name. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, praying hard through every fight. Got no wins, but I got pride. Made it through the other side. Yellow flags like warning signs, but I ain't falling for their lines. Got nerves of steel, a shaky hand. This ain't a game, it's fight or land. Saw that 18 catch the wall, 21 spun, took out them all. But somehow I found the lane, like Moses through that fire and rain. Yeah, I thread the needle, dodge the flame, every pileup calling my name. Wrecks behind me, wrecks ahead, but I ain't wrecked, I ain't dead. Sliding sideways, holding tight, praying hard.
Welcome in, race fans, to what is sure to be a historic night right here on the Racers Elite Network. Not only for the Racers Elite Network, but for Racers Elite in general. I'm going to be your host tonight, Brandon Massey, alongside me in the booth. It's going to be my commentary partner, the legendary Russell Martin Jr. Russ, how we doing tonight?
Brother, we are back here at Chicagoland. Track I'm looking forward to seeing back on the regular NASCAR schedule again next year, but this thing little cold loose tonight, it seems like. So it looks like we might be in for a little interesting race tonight.
Yeah, we are going to be in for an interesting race. As I'd mentioned it, Russ, we talk about what could be a historic night for Racers Elite, especially in the Next Gen Series. Only one other time this series has been here at Chicagoland, and that was February 22nd of 2024. That race was won by this gentleman, Alex Teft.
Yeah, back out there again tonight, and looking to see if he can continue his streak this week. Picked up a win on Tuesday night in the Truck Series, and now we're back here at a track that he won at last time we were here. So see if he can get it done here again tonight.
So not only is it a historic night for Racers Elite in the Next Gen Cup Series, but in a historic night nonetheless for Racers Elite Network. Today, Russ, we surpassed 1,000 subscribers right here on the Racers Elite Network on YouTube.
Yeah, it's quite a big milestone, and we got to throw a big thank you out there to all the viewers that come back in, week in, week out, night in, night out, and continue to watch us here on the Racers Elite Network and subscribing to us. Finally got to that 1K milestone, and only moving up from here. And like Andrew said, maybe we can quit hearing him ask about getting to 1,000 subscribers in his interviews now. So
he's going to have to change that interview for sure.
Yeah. Now he'll probably start saying, okay, now we're heading to our next goal of 1 million, and then we've got to have to listen to it for the next 10 years until we reach that.
That's right. And talking about Andrew was last week's race winner. Now that's been 2 races, 2 different winners. And when we take a look at the points, Russ, Andrew Teft is atop the leaderboard, but then closely behind him, you have Ira Kohlhaas, Curtis Eckert, Troy Thomas, Kirby Wainscott, Alex Teft, Brandon Sanfilippo, Kinsley Smith also is a race winner, has locked himself into the next round. Joshua Neal, David Davis, Dennis Kane, and Barry Nelson currently sitting right now at the cutoff line inside the top 12.
Yeah, it looks like we got a really good battle here in the top 12 in points, and you got even Truth Hoax sitting there just outside the top 12, only by 1 point. So we've got our 2 race winners, and Andrew and Kensley already locking themselves in. So as long as they start 6 regular season races here, they'll be, 2 of the 12 drivers battling for a championship here this season.
Yeah, and it's never too early for us to talk about points, right, Russ? We know how important race wins are when it comes to the bonus points here in the Racers Elite and the way that the chase format is set up. And gaining those bonus points, leading the most laps, etc., throughout an event matters. And so it's never too early to discuss points, especially around that cutoff line, because that's going to be something that we're going to have to pay attention to for the next handful of regular season races.
Yeah, for sure. And the one thing that I like to try to pay attention to, throughout the regular season is, kind of the whole consistency deal. Because once we do get to those playoffs, it's traditional Racers Elite fashion. There's no win in advance. It's 4 races, most points at the end of those 4 races is your champion. So, it's one of those things that I like to pay attention to is the consistency of drivers over these first 8 races, because those next 4, that consistency is what could really pay off for you in the championship round.
So as these drivers prepare to go to battle for what will be week 3 here at Chicagoland, we're going to take a real quick look at tonight's race info presented by 213 Simware, where right now the relative humidity shows 95%, 66 degrees outside, partly cloudy. That track temp though, Russ, you mentioned it, only 68 degrees.
Yeah, it's a very, very cool track. A lot of times you can attribute cool tracks to having a lot of grip, but there's also that point where a super cool track can also yield in a cold loose. We talk a lot about, super hot tracks being loose. Well, super cold tracks can be loose as well. And I know that, I've saw a couple of guys talking already about, having a little bit of a loose problem, especially through 3 and 4, because there's also there's a bump in the middle of 3 and 4 on the high side. So if you're up there running that top side and you get over that bump on this cold track and you're a little bit too much throttle, very, very easy to lose control of these cars. So something else we're going to have to watch out for throughout this race is those guys deciding to run the high line around here and through 3 and 4 and watching that bump.
Yeah, and that's one thing that we've seen in qualifying here is the drivers are in their qualifying state. And right now, the quickest overall by a mere 100th of a second is Kentucky's race winner, Kinsley Smith. But we've seen a little bit of that in qualifying. I've had a few cars up here on the screen for us, Russ, during the qualifying efforts, and we've seen a lot of loose race cars as that will end the qualifying portion. But we have seen a lot of loose race cars around this mile and a half.
Yeah, I was watching some guys in practice, and especially around that top side. I mean, they get loose, and then on the bottom side, if you just barely touch that apron at all, that's another way that's going to send your car around.
So let's get into tonight's starting grid. See if I can get that pulled up here, and I can. And on pole is going to be the driver out of Driving Extreme Inc., our week 1 race winner, driving the number 15, Kinsley Smith. Starting second outside him is going to be the driver the number 10. It's going to be Kirby Wainscott. Starting third, driver the number 93, the Rocket, Zach Lockett. Starting fourth, last week's race winner, it's going to be driver the number 98. It's going to be Andrew Teft. Starting in the 5th position with a top 3 finish last night in the Xfinity Series is going to be driver number 8, Curtis Ecker. Starting 6th, driver the number 88. It's going to be Troy Thomas. Starting 7th, driving the number 3 is going to be William Skinner. Starting 8th, driver of the number 78, it's going to be Richard Ode. Starting 9th, driver the number 4 is going to be Dennis Kane. Starting 10th, out of the Mojica camp, second in points currently right now, driver the number 29, Ira Kohlhaas. Starting 11th, driver the number 21 is going to be Mike Hardy. Starting 12th, driver the number 13, DEI's Brandon Honeycutt.
Starting in 13th, the number 28, got Barry Nelson. New number, new paint scheme. This guy's looking to change things around from last season. So far, he's been fairly impressive. Starting in 14th, that 77777, David Davis. Starting in 15th, the number 24, Joshua Norton. Starting in 16th, the 82, Joshua Neal. Starting back there in 17th, the 55, one of them guys you always got to keep your eye on here at these mile and a halfs, that Truth Hoke. Starting in 18th, the last time we were here, he was the one that picked up the win at number 43 of Alex Teft. Starting 19th in the 49 is Robert Richardson. Rounding out the top 20 in that 92, Timothy Eisbrin. And the final 4 drivers deciding not to put in a lap. Starting 21st, the number 5 of Brandon Puffenbarger. Starting 22nd, the 94, last season's series champion, Christopher Pindell. 23rd, the number 69 of Jesse Fox. And rounding out the field, 24 drivers here tonight at 7-11 of Trevor Fettig.
That will be tonight's starting grid for the historic night that we have. And I'm going to keep saying it, Russ. This is an absolutely historic night for Racers Elite. And again, we've only been here one other time. That was February 22nd, 2024. So about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago that we were last here. And then that 1,000 mark subscribers on our YouTube, and you said it, we say thank you, fans, but it's going to be in a historic night. My question is, Russ, do we see a third different winner, 3 different races?
I mean, it's definitely possible. I mean, like I said, there's plenty of drivers out here who are really good at these mile and a halves. We know Zach Lockett, or I know Zach Lockett really, really good at these mile and a halves. Starting there in third in that number 93. Said he's not really overall comfortable here at Chicagoland, but I've seen him say that and then walk away with wins. Talked about Truth Hoke back there. He's really good at these mile and a half. So this race here getting underway, green flag is out, and we're about ready to see who's going to tame this mile and a half Chicagoland Speedway.
We do have 105 laps, and what a dead even start that we have as these drivers will barrel down in the turns 1 and 2 very quickly. Zach to the back bumper, the 15. The 15's loose. Zach nowhere to go. Kinsley saves it, partially locks him down. Is that going to bring out a caution? I don't think that it's going to. A tough break for the pole sitter. Let's get back out front. Kirby Wainscott is dropping like a rock. I don't know what's going on with Kirby. Coming to pit road. There goes Kirby. Still no caution, Russ. Put Andrew Teft out front.
Yeah, that was not really sure if Kinsley got a little help there from Zach or if he just kind of got loose to begin with, but that's unfortunate. I mean, we got 105 laps here, so still plenty of time to get that back. I'm sure we'll have a little bit of action around here tonight and probably see a flag of a different color, but Kinsley should be able to make that up throughout this race.
Yeah, big bobble out of the 29 there. Ira Kohlhaas was running that middle lane in turns 3 and 4. was making headway towards the front and just a big bobble, and he's actually going to lose a ton of spots. Is Ira in the 29. We go a little bit further up, Russ, and there's racing all over the place. They're 2 and 3 wide, tons of racing everywhere.
Yeah, it's one of those things that the Chicagoland brings. I mean, as I said, I really like Chicagoland. I'm glad that they're bringing it back next season because, I mean, you know, it's a mile and a half, but it's wide enough where you can easily get some 3 wide racing action. And with this cooler track temp, these guys have just a little bit more grip on the straightaways. You know, and through the maybe the center of the corner, we have the potential to see some really good battles all throughout the night.
Yeah, and I'm watching these guys right here, Russ. You have Barry Nelson, you have Brandon Honeycutt, you have Troy Thomas, you have oh gosh, who I don't know who else. Dude, they're 2 and 3 wide. This is insane.
Yeah, man, they're all over the place battling. I mean, right now, go up front, the leader, Andrew Teff, is getting battled by Curtis Ecker right there on the outside. He's looking to try to get around him, and then you got the 78 of Richard Oat trying to put himself in the mix here. I thought we were going to go 3 wide. Now Zach Lockett looking to the middle, trying to make it 3 wide for second.
He was trying. Richard Ode has came up in through the Racers Elite on Thursday night and has been a contender. He was at Kentucky, if you remember, Russ, and right here, battling inside the top 5 right now. The battle for the race lead put Ecker out front. Lockett looking to follow. The outside is rolling right now, Russ.
Yeah, the outside, like I said, I mean, these guys were saying that there's definitely speed on that outside. You know, you can see these guys when they come through 3 and 4, how these cars just kind of jump there through that center because of that bump up there. Is going to be one of the things that these guys are going to have to watch all throughout this race.
And the battle still rages on for third. You got David Davis right there. You got Andrew Tev Lockett looking to the inside. I look a little bit further back. Honeycutt.
Honeycutt's loose down there. The 3's going to get hooked. 3's going to go around. Honeycutt's in the wall. Big pile up back there.
Big one here tonight. That's the biggest wreck we've probably seen all season long, Russ.
I'm still not seeing a caution.
The caution is out. Yeah, the caution is out.
It is out, okay.
Yeah, Ira Kohlhaas got some damage in that. Come in second in points. Let's take a look back here, Russ. I'll see if I can find it.
So I think that all started when Honeycutt got loose down there, and then the 3 and the 82 had to go up to try to avoid it, and just kind of ran out of real estate, and the 82 kind of got up there into the 3, and that's where it kind of all started, I think.
Yeah, we're gonna back it up here quite a bit. I got to go a little bit of ways back here to see if I can't grab a little bit of a different view. I'll tell you, let's go with this view right here, and then we'll just run it at quarter speed, Russ. You can see the 10 kind of goes down a little bit on the 88, no effect there, but that's going to open up the door for the 13. You can see the 13's coming, the 10's into the outside wall. Still, I don't think that's any effect. 13 running the middle. You can see Honeycutt. You can see the 82 of Neal approaching quickly. I think it just packed air on the back of the car. I mean, there was no contact there. You can see Honeycutt's loose. He's trying to drive it out. He somewhat saves it, but then the 82 just goes up and clips the 3. You can see
it looks like I saw a little bit of net code there, too, between the 82 and the 3 just before the 3 started going around. It looked like started to go around a little bit before the actual contact, so maybe a little bit of net code played factor there, too.
And you can see Ira barely misses, but then here comes the 49. Arca brake much. Just runs plumb right over the back of the 29. You can see the 42 or the 92's in it. I mean, just tons of cars tied up here. Alex Teft got checked up. I mean, they're still wrecking. Just tons of collateral damage there very early in this run.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any plus side, I mean, at least, we got, one fast repair. Not that anybody wants to have to use it this early. I'm sure some of those guys, just had minimal amounts of damage. They'll just sit down there, try to get that thing fixed up, under the caution here, and try to save that fast repair for later.
Yeah, and also too, Russ, like when we we take a look at this, right? The start of the race. Let's go back to lap 1, turn 1. Kinsley Smith in the 15 was a little bit loose. I think he was loose before the 93 got to him. I mean, we can go back at, afterwards and review it, but I think the 15 was loose before the 93 got to him. But this is going to help out Kinsley a lot. Not to go a lap down, be able to stay on the lead lap, go take a little extra fuel, because we know that this is probably going to turn out to be a fuel mileage type of situation. And so, this definitely helps out Kinsley, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, it puts him right back into the thick of things. I mean, it looks like currently sitting in 16th, so definitely puts him back in the thick of it. And that's the one thing about these mile-and-a-half tracks, like you said, fuel mileage almost guaranteed to be some sort of a factor here tonight. It usually seems to always be a factor at these mile-and-a-half tracks for Races Elite. So, I mean, lots of different factors all throughout this race. But, I mean, we got 105 laps, still plenty of time for things to play out. And looks like we're about ready to go back to green flag racing here.
Yeah, and we are. And right now, the top 10s, Ecker, Lockett, Davis, Taft, Ode, Hardy, Pindell, Jesse Fox, Dennis Kane, Troy Thomas. That's going to be the top 10. The lights is going to be out on the pace car. Russ, we're going to get this race back under green flag. Ecker in control is going to bring him to the restart zone. And in fact, the green flag is back out. We are back underway. Lap 10. We still have about 95 or so to go.
Good start there by the 8, with the 93 coming in like the rocket that his name claims it is. Down there on the bottom, trying to take this lead over. He's going to get by the 8, clear new leader, Zach Lock.
Yeah, and I believe the 8's going to have a pretty decent run here. Let's see where Zach decides to go. 777. If David Davis just drives it in there hard, drives it in there deep, and in fact, turn the race lead back over. Now the battle for 4th back here, or 5th, you got Andrew Teft, you got Richard Ode. These guys battling for position. Richard shuts the door. Caution.
Oh, we got a yellow. Not sure what it's for. Not seeing anything on my screen here.
Timothy Eisburn. Let me see if I can pull it up here. You can see here, race fans, he's running the outside. Oh, looks like
the 24.
The Norton, yeah. So let me
Got
stop.
up into the wall and nowhere for the 92 to go.
Yeah, let me back up here. Let me go to the 24. You can see the 24. I don't know if maybe the 24 was. I think the 24 was trying to come to pit road. I see a black flag for him in race control, and I'm thinking he was trying to come to pit road, and he's just come down in front of Eisman.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it didn't come up on mine. Let's try to see if I can get a better look at it here.
While you're doing that, I'm going to take a look at our current points leader, Andrew Teff, currently riding right here in the 5th position. We know these drivers have been racing extremely hard up front. You got Andrew Taft in the 5th position. Ira setting 2nd in points. You can see right there, had some damage. Probably took a fast repair, if I can see the back end of the race car. And in fact, he has taken a fast repair, so move him back to 13th. Kinsley Smith, 14th. Again, he won first week out at Kentucky. You can see right there, last season's champion, Christopher Pindell's pitting from inside the top 10. He was currently riding 6th. Amongst other drivers, Zach Lockett has come down pit road. Davis has come down pit road. So, the fuel mileage part of this event exists, Russ, because now we're going to start seeing a shakeup in positions and pit strategy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've been watching this whole incident with the 24, and I think you're right. I mean, I'm on board with him going into. It looks down the back straightaway. It looks like he gets the wall coming out of 2. Pretty good. I don't know what happened exactly, but he got into the wall about midway down the back straightaway, and then kind of went in on the high side of 3 and 4. And I think maybe he might have got some wheel damage from that wall contact. And like you said, because I mean, he is getting past quick, and then he just, like he completely lets off the gas and turns left like he was going to go down pit road, and just nowhere there for that 92 to go. But I think he probably got some wheel damage from slapping the outside wall coming out of turn 2.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still showing in my race control, my timing and scoring, that he has a black flag. So I'm thinking that he was trying to come to pit road. Serve that. I'm not sure why he would have got it. Maybe too fast exiting pit road. Could be, not 100% sure, but that's what it looked like to me. I mean, we won't know until the race is over, Russ, and these drivers conversate about it in the Discord. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys are not afraid to let us know what really happened out there.
So with the shakeup in some of the drivers electing to come to pit road, right? I mean, you had Zach Lockett, David Davis. They've been up front about all night long. Christopher Pendell, that group, all electing to come to pit road. That's going to leave Ecker, Ode, Teft, Hardy, Nelson, Kane, Skinner, Kohlhaas, Hoke, and Kinsley Smith. That's going to move all those drivers inside the top 10. So we're going to start seeing a shakeup in things. You know, some guys that's had some bad luck early on starting to shake back out. But again, we're going to have about, call it 85, 90 laps to the finish, give or take 80, 85, whatever it is. So it's going to take a while for all these cycles to play out. We've been told from our pit road reporter, 38 laps is a fuel run, right? So again, the front four is not pitted. They've not been on pit road at all. I can tell you that for sure.
Yeah, I don't. You know, with these two early cautions, you know, unless we continue to get cautions or get a caution, you know, probably after a 10 or 15 lap run, I wouldn't expect to see them down any earlier than probably lap 40 or 45 now at this point. But we're back on the green now. Curtis Ecker getting a big launch on this start.
Yeah, Ecker with a big start again, finished inside the top 3. I think he had a 3rd place finish last night. Back out to the front very quickly does Ecker go, but here comes Richard Ode. He's rolling that outside. Kept trying to get out. Oh, here we go, Russ.
Good battle there between the 98 and 78. 78 really showing a lot of power, but 98 was trying to make something happen, then shot down to the bottom looking for the lead coming out of 4th.
I seen it. I don't know how he saved it, but the 59 or 69 of Jesse Fox was dead sideways
completely sideways
in the racetrack.
Yep.
I barely caught it, but holy, what a great job of all these drivers to keep them straight. Let's get back out front. Let's move Andrew Teff back out to the race lead. You got Ecker, Nelson, Ode, Skinner, Kinsley Smith charging through the front. You got an associate driver to DEI, the Bohica Esports driver, Ira Kohlhaas, following Kinsley, try to get to the front. I love these restarts, Russ.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, you look at Kinsley right there. I mean, had that incident lap 1, turn 1, and already right back here inside the top 10, currently running 6 and looking to gain even more. I mean, that's what these cautions will do. You know, he had that bad luck lap 1, turn 1, putting him right back in the mix of things right now.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go a little bit deeper. You've got Dennis Kane, Truth Hope, all right here. You've got Joshua Neal. You've got Troy Thomas, Christopher Pendell, Kirby Wainscott, all back here. I mean, dude, all these drivers, Russ, are within arm length.
Oh, the 82 sideways, hard into the outside wall.
Who was it?
The 82, not seeing a caution yet.
Yeah, right there's the 82. I didn't get to see it.
I think he got together with somebody back there, got loose, got up hard into the outside wall.
Yeah, I'm showing Troy Thomas went off track. You see the 82 coming through track, through the grass right now.
He's going to try to limp that thing back to pit road. I mean, we stay green.
We'll get back out front. The race is going to stay green. Again, we have live race control here that calls those calls. That's not controlled by iRacing, and as long as the drivers are out of the way of the race leaders, they tend to let these things go green. And in fact, that driver Ruz, the guy on the move though right now is Kinsley Smith. Move him up to 4th.
Yeah. I mean, he is looking for redemption after that start there, and you know, these two cautions really helped him. You know, we talked about that earlier on. You know, we see the 28 getting into the wall there, but these cautions really helping Kinsley right now.
Yeah, these guys look at Alex Teft is all over the back of Ira Kohlhaas. It looked like Zach Lockett was about to be in a 3-wide situation. In fact, he's not. They're going to stay 2 by 2. I mean, all these drivers can see the race leader. Right there goes the race leader, right? I mean, the top 10 cars are within a tenth of the leader.
Yeah, I mean, they're close enough to see him and smell him, but you know, they can see him and they can smell him. They want him 43 sideways. Zach looking up. 43 still going through the grass here.
Yeah.
Got to hold on to it.
Check the front end of the front bumper of Truth Hope. Alex Teff there, plumb sideways. Did a very good job of saving it. Hoke really with nowhere to go. I believe Hoke kind of got into the back end of the race car. You can see still no caution. Race control is going to let him race. Back out front, Ecker leads over top of Ode, Smith, Teff, Nelson, Ira, Skinner, Lockett, Hardy, Hoke. That's going to be the top 10. Now they're starting to single file Russ. So maybe these guys will settle down just a little bit because I can't keep up. My heart is pumping too hard.
Man, that's what I said. That's one of the things I love about Chicagoland, man. I mean, plenty of action all the way around, and like I said, you mix that in with a little bit of a cooler track temp. Sometimes guys get a little overzealous, feeling, having that comfortability of extra grip, when in reality you don't really have it. I mean, I think with that 43 right there, I think he just dipped just below that white line down on the bottom, caught that apron just a little bit, and that got him bent out of shape. Like I said before, I mean, it's one thing you're going to have to watch out for, but these guys realizing that, probably should single file out, ride a few laps, let this thing settle in just a little bit.
And again, the guy on the move is Kinsley Smith. He has since moved himself up to third position. We're taking a look through the rest of the field here, trying to find a close battle right now.
Now we have a caution.
There we do have a caution.
And I don't know why I'm not seeing anything on my screen of anybody wrecking.
Joshua Norton is what I see. Let me see if I can find it. I can stop. I can back up. It's just not been a good night for him. I'm going to keep going backwards here for the race fans at home. I'm going to see what I can do to find it.
So I'm guessing the 24 probably still has some damage. He was trying to get fixed, and thought maybe he had enough fixed, and just maybe not had enough. Like you said, been a rough night for that 24.
It has been a rough night for Joshua Norton. I mean, I'm not seeing anything. He comes out of pit road.
Little loose.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, when
a little
the car
too much
stops
gas on the apron there.
Yeah, when the car stops on the racing surface like that, that will bring out the caution. So that will be our third caution of the night. I suspect that we're going to see Ecker, Ode, and some of these guys have. So Ecker and Ode hasn't been on pit road. Yeah, I figure we're going to see this now.
I was just going to say, I think looking at the amount of laps that we got left with what we're running right now, I think right now is an even time for everybody to come down pit road, and I think we can make this make this a two-stop race from here on out.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, Russ, right? Like, as a race car driver, even for us up here in the booth, we can sometimes get a feel for how the race is going to go, right? And when you look at it, right now it doesn't have a lone green flag feel to it. Right. I mean, you're kind of like, you know what I mean? The momentum of the race and the play out of the race right now just doesn't have a lone green flag feel to it. Now, that could completely surprise us because we're here at Racers Elite. We're notorious to go green flag racing start to finish. I mean, we did last night at Kentucky, Kansas. So,
Yeah,
Ecker,
I was just going to say, I didn't mean to. I was just going to say, that's what I just said. But I didn't want to interrupt you, but I saw Ecker was backwards on pit road. Not sure what happened there.
I'm going to rewind it back.
Or maybe he got a little bit too much throttle trying to come out of his pit box and just.
All right, let's stop it right here. Let's watch it at quarter speed. You can see the jack will go down on the car. I'll speed it up and then. Yeah, he dumps the clutch, the car's going, he's rolling, he lets off the gas.
He probably sees the 78 coming and overcorrects it.
I just throttles back up. Yeah, that's what it was.
Throttle up, yeah. Yep.
All right, so.
Man, we've all been there. We've all done that.
All right, let's get back. Under live condition. I believe I'm there. Yes, I am. Okay. So some drivers elected to stay out though, Russ. Kohlhaas, Skinner, last on pit road.
Yeah, I think those
7.
guys were. I was just gonna say, I think they were just down pit road not too long ago, so it makes sense for these guys here to stay out. Now we're gonna have, again, this is gonna throw out some differing strategies. We had these guys, like Lockett and Skinner and all them that came down just a little bit earlier. To these guys who are going to now have fresh rubber on their cars after 26 laps. So we're going to have differing strategies, and that means differing fuel strategies as well.
Yeah, so you have Lockett, Pendell, Davis, all that was on pit road at lap 12. And then you have the rest of the field elected to come to pit road. So you have 2 drivers in Kohlhaas and Skinner, last on pit road at lap 7, which we know both of those drivers were involved in the first caution we had here tonight. And then you have Lockett, been excellent on restarts, last on pit road about 6 laps later than that. The pace car is off for us. We are back on the green. Ira's going to bring them, and he's going to fire off. he just hauling mail.
Yeah, great launch there by Ira. Zach, looking down there on the bottom, going to clear the 3-car, move Zach up to second. Now he's going to start trying to run this 29 down. Great launch there by Ira Kohlhaas in that 29.
Yeah, great launch. And again, him leading a lap, that's going to be, I believe, a bonus point for him if he's able to do it. Right now, moving out in front, the battle for seconds raging on. You have Lockett, you have Pindell, you have the 3 of William Skinner, David Davis, all right here. They're 2x2. These restarts are just insane.
Yeah, these guys getting up on the wheel, 2, 3 wide, and not afraid to send it.
You got to teach yourself. Oh, that was almost a 3 wide. Yeah, the 10 got really tight. I was keeping an eye on the 10. I don't know who the 10 is, though.
Kirby Wainscott.
Yeah, but Kirby's in the 10, but it shows 10 on the side of the race car. I believe it's Mike Hardy in the 21. That shows the 10 Valvoline. Or do I just need to reload paints?
I think maybe a refresh, yeah, because let me see what he's showing up on. He might have, maybe he's got the wrong paint on his car. Let me see, who was that? Mike Hardy in the 21. Yeah, he's showing up as the 10 on mine too. He's just got the wrong paint on his car.
Gotcha. Okay, all right, makes sense. Okay, so back out front, Clean Air does pay dividend. You can see Ira is able to hold on. You got Zach Lockett. You got William Skinner. William been able to hold on to the back bumper of the Lockett right now. David Davis, Pindell, Kinsley Smith. They're working their way through the field. Here's the actual 10 of Kirby Wainscott. Right there, you got Richard Ode. Puffenbarger, we've not been able to talk about him much tonight. It's been relatively an interesting race, but Puffenbarger right now has moved up 10 spots. Move him just outside the top 10. Now move him inside the top 10 at 10th.
Yeah, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he struggled a little bit last week. And, we really didn't get a chance to talk about him much there last week. But pretty strong showing so far early on in this one here, currently running P10.
And the other driver that's kind of surprised me, too, has been this gentleman back here. He's been deep all night long. The 13 of Brandon Honeycutt just not seemed like tonight has been his night. Looks like he's got some damage to that race car, both the right front and right rear of it. And it's just been a struggle all night long for him.
Yeah, I think he was caught up in one of them incidents earlier on. So probably one of those situations of he's going to take this entire race to try to get that damage fixed, take advantage of the cautions. We had these earlier cautions, so he's probably anticipating that those are going to continue to come. He'll be able to come down pit road, keep getting worked on that car, and not having to use that fast repair early on. But if we get a late race caution, wouldn't be surprised to see him use that, get that damage fixed, and then put himself back in contention. Because this is one guy, that we definitely have to keep our eye on, as well as at these 1.5-mile tracks, because he's usually always fast wherever he goes.
I'm taking a look at my live timing and scoring here, Russ, and right now every single car on the racetrack is within a 10th of the car around it. Let's get back here beside Kinsley Smith. These guys were 3 wide when they exited the corner there. The battle for the race lead starting to heat up. We'll keep an eye on that, but right now the battle for positions back here, you got David Davis, Kinsley Smith, Richard Ode, Christopher Pindell. They've all been throwing shade at each other.
Yeah, I tell you, the one guy I've been impressed with so far in this race is that 777 of David Davis. He's having a really good, strong run here tonight, and good to see him up here battling inside the top 5.
You can see right there, and he shared that paint scheme in the Discord. Loved it. I believe that's kind of off the RFK design that they went and tested Bristol with. I could be wrong. Don't hold me to that, but it's definitely a good-looking paint scheme he has put together there. We're going to go a little bit further. Let's take a look at Kirby. Oh, where we at? Oh, we are 3 wide. Yep.
Right as you cut that camera, the 78 shot it down there to the apron and took it 3 wide with Kinsley in that 77 or 777.
I've been impressed with the 78 the last couple of weeks, man. He showed us a lot of speed at Kentucky. And he's been in the front he's been in the front all year long, really.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a fairly decent start to the season. He's shown speed. He's been up there contending in the front of these, in front of the pack here at these races, and yeah, definitely impressive so far this season. We have a battle heating up for the league here.
Yeah, you can see Lockett's going to move to the outside. Is Ira going to be able to shut the door on him? Lockett into the wall. That's actually going to help.
A little touch.
I was going to say, I thought that was going to help Ira. In fact, I don't think Lockett lost any time. He might have gained a little bit. Again, Ira on about 6-7 lap holder tires than what Lockett's on. out here leading laps. And I can tell you, Ira has been struggling on Wednesday nights, but man, he's just, something's clicking with him and this race car here on Thursday nights.
Yeah, I mean, I raced against Ira in the next gen, before, and he really he seemed to struggle with the car back when I raced with him, but it must be, he's finally coming into his own with this car, and he's been very impressive so far this season. These first 3 races so far, currently sitting P2 in the points, and shown quite a bit of speed in all the races that we've had so far this season.
I also want to include, I know my man is driving with kidney stones. He's been in a lot of pain over the past week, and I know it's got to be somewhat rewarding to know that you can come in, you're leading some laps, but I know he's in discomfort. He told me last night, he said, man, I'm going to go take some meds and lay down. So right now,
I mean, you get these drivers in real life, they go out there and they run in these cars, 140-degree track temps. They go out and they run when they've got the flu and they're sick and all this. But man, do any of those real life drivers ever race with kidney stones? Because how painful would that be?
I mean, he's sitting in the sim rig doing it right now. He's putting on a pretty good show. So hats off to him. Move William Skinner to third. Now we got some single file racing, and now that's starting to get that long green flag feel, Russ.
Yeah, I mean, we get this from time to time where, certain tracks, we see these cautions earlier on, and a lot of times it's just that adrenaline rush at the start of a race, and now we've got these we have three quick cautions here so far, and now things seem to be settling down just a little bit, and these guys are starting to string a pretty decent green flag run here together.
And I'm taking a look here at something, Russ, and I just kind of want to point it out. The 2 gentlemen that elected to stay out, Kohlhaas, Skinner, right now 1 and 3. The first car with the freshest tires that elected to pit on that 3rd caution.
We got a caution out right now.
I'm showing Kirby Wainscott. I'll get back to my
I'm
point.
Not showing anything. I think my camera keeps jumping because I am supposed to focus on crashes, and I haven't seen a single one of these cautions yet.
Well, I'll get back to my point. Right here's Wainscott. I'm going to go into this view here. We're going to see what happened. You can see he's just going to enter the corner. I'm going to go quarter. The car's loose, chasing it. There it goes. I'm seeing a bunch of cars just crash. Oh, okay. They're waiting for
checking up for the pace car.
They are. They're checking up for the pace car. Dude, my live timing and scoring just went nuts. I wish you could see all this shred over here. I mean, it had everybody in the top 10. It had everybody in the top 10 showing us crashed. Okay. Here was going to be my point, Russ. I told you all, for the race fans at home, okay, we told you this was going to be a historic night. We didn't say how historic. We just said it was going to be, and it has been nothing shy of.
Yeah, I mean it's just been exciting. So all night long. I mean we're 42 laps in, and it's just been nothing but chaos and excitement, and we love to see it.
We do love to see it. And here's the thing, Russ.
Now the 13's around on pit road.
Is he? Let me see if I can find 13. Where's Honeycutt?
What are we doing?
There he is.
What are we doing? Back that up just a little bit. I don't know if he got off into the grass, if he came in pit road too high. I don't know. He's just sideways. I saw him looping it around. Oh, looks like he tried to cut inside that 7-Eleven, and the ghosting wasn't quite there yet.
Well, his pit box is back here. Oh, the 7-Eleven. Oh, the 7-Eleven was coming to pit road.
Yeah. The ghosting wasn't quite in effect there yet. Man.
Okay, back to my point.
Yeah.
All right, back to my point. I've been trying to get this point out for a minute, Russ, okay? Ira and Skinner was running 1-3. They hadn't been on pit road since lap 7. Kinsley Smith was the first car with the freshest tires, came at lap 24. Ira was the quickest car on the racetrack that run. He actually had started putting a little bit of distance between him and Lockett later in that run there. I guess my point is fresh tires with this cooler track temp doesn't seem to really be playing that much of a factor at all.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I mean, I was watching some of those guys that came down and got those fresher tires, and yeah, it just doesn't seem like four fresh really have that big of an advantage. Which, I mean, if you're one of these guys down here on the track, it's something you're going to have to try to, maybe notice and keep in mind, because as this race progresses, this definitely might be an option for a two tire or even maybe a no tire if we have, if we have to have pit stops close to the end of this race, because the fresh tires so far have not seemed to really pay off. So it might be worth that gamble to try to go either two tire or even maybe no tire, just fuel only, if it's not going to be that big of a benefit.
So right now, 4 drivers elected to stay out: Kinsley Smith, Richard Ode, Andrew Teff, Zach Lockett. Yes. Or sorry, Richard Richardson. All elected to stay out, right? Everybody else came to pit road behind these guys. The pace car's off. That's going to turn it over to Kinsley Smith. The green flag is back out after our 4th caution of the night. We are back underway, Russ, and we still not even hit halfway of this thing.
Yeah, and this is really going to be, I think, the defining factor in the fresh tire argument, because those top 4 that stayed out, they're going to be about 18 laps more on their tires than everybody else behind them. So I think right now we're going to get a really good look at what 4 fresh versus no tires is going to do, because those 18 laps may be a factor. The 7 laps or so before, maybe not so much.
Well, you can see right here, Zach Lockett has trying to put a lot of pressure on Andrew Teff and slice his way through the field. He was on the low line, middle line, high line. You can see right there he is. Move him to the outside and move him up to 3rd. Now, right now, the battle is going to be behind him. You've got Skinner, Kohlhaas. You've got who's the 49? Richard Richardson, David Davis, Taft. Here comes Curtis Ecker. This is all battle for position right now for the 5th.
Yeah, huge cluster right there for 5th spot. I mean, looks like the 777 wanted to try to take it 3 wide right there, thought better of it. That's going to bring Curtis Ecker into the mix now.
To move Curtis Ecker into the mix, you can see all these drivers running the outside. They feel that that's where the speed is. Andrew right now is just going to get railroaded by that outside line, and I don't know if that's a fresh tire thing, because right now Kinsley Smith elected to stay out, just laid down his fastest lap of the race. Richard Ode just laid down his fastest lap of the race, both on some older tires, but Zach Lockett laid down his fastest lap on the fresher tires. So right now, I don't think tires really matter. I think this is by design for the 98. We're looking 3 wide. Ecker's not going to. He's going to push the 29 of Ira Kohlhaas.
Yeah, 98 there. Still down, rolling the bottom, best for tire saving the 8, trying to, again, looking to try to make it 3 wide with Ira up on the high side. Not just enough room. Now he's going to go for it. It's going to be close. Oh. that gap closed really quick between those 3.
That's some good racing we have going on here at Chicagoland, Russ. I mean, Curtis Ecker is a man on the move. He's slicing and dicing again, just much like Zach Lockett. Again, moves Zach to P2 now. Right now, he's going to start putting a little bit of pressure on the back of the 15. I want to stay with this battle. We'll keep an eye on the race leaders. In fact, there goes Lockett.
I'm saying, I know Lockett in that 93 is looking for redemption from last week. I mean, he dominated that race last week, and then an untimely caution, the only caution that we had, he brought him down pit road, and then the top 3 drivers saving fuel and beating him out.
Yeah, that was a wild race. It was the first race we had of the season back at Kentucky. And just what a race that it was. Right now, the battle rages on again. I want to stay right here. We'll get through the other battles that we have. Alex Teff looking to make a move on Truth Oak back here. Zach looking to clear. In fact, he will. All right. So we do have a lead change. Move the 93 back out front. We're going to go back to these battles back here.
And we got a caution again.
That poor 24. Yeah, it's the poor 24, I believe. We'll keep an eye right there. He just gets loose in the middle of the racetrack. Collects Wayne Scott again. Yeah, that's just been a rough night for the 24, Joshua Norton.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I hate to say it, but I mean, it's sometimes you might it's better to just kind of load her up and count your losses.
Yeah, I mean, it's, and this is our fifth caution of the night. I believe three of them has kind of been Norton, and in fact, I believe he has been. I believe he hit the incident limit. Yeah. I believe his team is loading it up and is being sent to the hauler. It looks like to me he has hit the incident limit. From race control, at least from what I can see. And again, it's just some nights it just ain't your night. I mean, I had that a few weeks ago, at Nashville Super Speedway, and just wasn't my night. So
Yeah, we all have those nights, and unfortunately tonight it was his night.
So the battle of the pit strategies is still taking place. We still haven't hit halfway. We do have several drivers electing to come down pit road. The first one being Kinsley Smith. You got Richard Ode. You got Andrew Teff, Robert Richardson, Troy Thomas, Puffenbarger, Fettig, Wayne Scott, Jesse Fox, all electing to come to pit road. So that's going to leave Zach Lockett, David Davis, Curtis Ecker, Ira Kohlhaas, William Skinner, Truth Hope, Teff Pendell, Kane, Hardy, Honeycutt, Nelson, all out on the racetrack. This has been an absolutely wild night, Russ.
Yeah, I mean, what else could you say other than welcome back to Chicagoland? I mean, like I said, I love this track. I love this track, and I'm so glad that NASCAR is bringing it back next season. I cannot wait to see that race come back, on the NASCAR schedule. And man, I hope that race is just as exciting as what we've had here so far tonight.
And I think it will be, right? Because I mean, here's the thing, right? NASCAR tried it, and they did the Chicago street course, and for the couple of years they had, it was pretty cool. And I like the fact that they're going out west and doing that road course deal on the Air Force, on the air base out there. That's going to be really, really cool. But a lot of your old school like NASCAR race fans, right? And I'm talking about guys like my dad, right? Who grew up in an era of Petty and early Petty days, Earnhardt days. They want to see good mile and a half racing. They like the ovals.
Well, that comment just made me feel bad that you're saying your dad back in that era, and that was my era, dude, and I ain't that old.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, that's what they want to see, right? I mean, road course guys. They want to see left turn racing.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the things with NASCAR now. They've added all these different road courses, and it's fine. You've got Code on the schedule, and you've got the Chicago, the Charlotte Roval. Those are actual racetracks, and that was about the only thing that I didn't really care for about the street course was, it wasn't a track that was built for racing.
Well, it was an experiment.
The streets on the streets of Chicago, and these cars are built to race on racetracks, not on the streets. I mean, they made it work for the 2 or 3 years that they ran it. I was never really a fan of the race, of that particular race, just for that instance, but. They tried it. I don't think fans received it very well. I mean, they had fans at the track, but I don't think they received it as well as NASCAR had hoped. So now they're going back to Chicagoland, and they're going to try this thing out there in San Diego on the Naval Base, and we'll see how that there plays out. But we're back on the green flag race, and Zach Lockett gets a good jump on this restart.
He does get a good jump, and you can see Ecker, Davis, Kohlhaas all in tow. I can tell you one guy that liked that Chicago street course, Russ, was Shane Van Gissenberg.
Yeah, SVG, man, that dude. I mean, I'm telling you right now, if SVG can figure out the ovals,
and he has, he's gotten better.
He's gotten a lot better this season, and the more that he runs, I think he is going to be a force to be reckoned with in NASCAR. I haven't seen a driver take to NASCAR to the road course side of things as much as SVG. Now, mind you, that's his bread and butter. That's where this dude was bred, was on those road courses. But I don't think I've seen a driver come into NASCAR and take to road courses as well as SVG has since maybe Marcus Ambrose. And even Marcus Ambrose struggled. You know, he wasn't always a dominant driver on the road courses because, I mean, he still had to contend with Jeff Gordon. He still had to contend with Tony Stewart. You know, and all those guys back in the day that were really strong road drivers. But now, I mean, there's so many road courses out there that you take somebody whose bread and butter are those road courses like SVG, and he is going to be one of those drivers that you're going to have to chase every time that you go to a track where you got to make a right-hand turn.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just sitting here and I was looking at lap times, Russ, and the last time by, about 2 laps ago, both Ecker and Kohlhaas laid down their fastest laps of the race, matching the fastest lap of current race leader Zach Lockett, 29.79. So a lot of speed out of these top 3 race cars right now. As you can see, we're quickly approaching the halfway point. I believe we're there. And that being the case, we know all these drivers are going to have to make one more pit stop, right? We know that they can get about 38 laps to a fuel run. That being the case, everybody inside the top 9 cars right now. The first car that was on pit road is in 10th. That's Kinsley Smith. The first 9 cars was on the pit road at lap 41. Oh, Rick, Robert Robertson, Brandon Honeycutt.
Oh. Andrew Teff's in there too, hard into the inside wall. We got a whole gaggle of them. 78, 82, 711, the 88. Big mess on the front stretch.
Yeah, let me back up here. I seen it start with Honeycutt. That's actually who I'm going to go to there. I'm going to stop this. I'm going to rewind this. Yeah, the 49 looked like he might have forced a 3 wide there, Russ. We'll take a look and see. We'll let you dissect this one. I'm actually going to
say, I think the 49 went 3 wide on the exit there and kind of washed up into the 10, which got him loose and shot him down into the 13.
You can see right now he has the position to go 3 wide here. The 13 looks to be drifting up a little bit.
No contact there. Maybe a little net code contact there. Yeah, because the 49 gets loose from that. Maybe a little side suck from the 13 got him just a little bit loose, shot him up into the 10.
Yeah, and here's Andrew Teff with nowhere to go.
Looks like he was just trying to avoid it and got loose. I don't think he made contact with anybody. I think he just tried to avoid it, and it just hooked right on him.
Yeah, the 82, the 78. I don't think... Let's go on board the 78. I don't think he... Let's see. Where's he at? Right there. Let's back this up. We're going to go on board with him, Russ. You can see it all playing out in front of him. All right, so here we go. We'll go on board right here. We'll see what he sees. Yeah, my man wasn't stopping. He was going to try to. Yeah, hey, my man wasn't stopping us. He was just going to.
I just saw that meter. I saw that meter pegged out right there. I'm like, that was a no lift challenge, hoping that the gates opened up for him, but it didn't pay off.
what was the Days of Sun and Thunder? Right, you pick a lane, you drive through it, right?
That's right. Pick a lane, drive through it. And so there was nothing to drive through other than a brick wall of cars.
I still don't think you can make it to the finish here. However, you would have to save some fuel. I mean, 38 laps on a run. That's going to put you at, say, 99. You would have to save 6 laps. So I know there's been some guys that was on pit roads. Lockett, Ecker, Fox, Hoke, Kane, Fettig, Wayne Scott. He was involved in that accident. But Lockett and company is elected to come to pit road. Again, they're going to have to save about 5 or 6 laps worth of fuel. Now, we talked to Lockett a little bit earlier, Russ, and he told us after Kentucky he knows what to do, and that if this was to arise again, he knows what his strategy is going to be.
Well, that's what I was literally just thinking when you read those numbers of how many laps short. And I said, I'm thinking to myself, I'm wondering if Zach is having PTSD flashbacks, because that was the same amount of numbers that Andrew Teft and Kensley Smith and Ira Kohlhaas saved 6 laps of fuel in that race back at Kentucky and beat out Zach, who had to come down and pit for fuel. And now it's that kind of the same situation where, you know, they're looking at maybe being 6 or 7 laps short after one more stop.
And again,
and then Zach may be thinking, all right, now I got to try to save 6 or 7 laps of fuel like those guys did at Kentucky.
Well, and here's the thing, right? Like I mean, what's the longest run we've had? 25 laps.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, and that's if we go green.
Yeah, but I think they're on the upper end of this, right? Because if we do happen to get a couple more cautions, they'll be able to save the fuel. But guys like Cole Haas, Davis, Teft, all those guys are going to have to come back down pit road. The lights is out on the pace car, though, Russ. We're going to get this thing back under green. We still have 43, call it 44 laps to get to the finish of this thing.
Yeah, I think if I'm the 93, I am planning to go the distance right now. Because like you said, if we get another caution or two, you could definitely clutch it and save that amount of fuel, under those caution laps. And, it definitely could play out that way. And it could fall right into the hands of the 93.
It very well could. A big bobble out of Mike Harding back there.
Still sideways, still trying to hang on to it, coming back up.
And he will
save it.
He will save it. We'll get back out front. Ira he's just took off and he's rolling. And again, all these guys we know are going to have to come back down pit road. You got Ira, you got Skinner, you got Davis, Nelson, Alex Teff there restarted in the 4th position, has actually fell a few spots. We're going to keep an eye on Zach Lockett, see how he works through the field, keep an eye on that fuel strategy. Again, we know he's going to have to save 5 or 6 laps to be able to get through the finish.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, you take a look at the top 6 there. Well, let me see, top 5, because Kensley Smith is only out there about 13 laps since the last time he was down pit road. But the other guys are 23 laps now since they were down pit road. So we're going to see them probably in the next 15 or so laps, if this thing stays green, having to make green flag pit stops.
And we very well could. The battle for the lead is starting to heat up. William Skinner, though, just laid down a blazer of a lap. And in fact, I believe it's been the fastest one all night long, 29.68. The 3 car has found some speed.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with him tonight as well. I mean, he's been up there, really battling, inside the top 5 for most of the night, and definitely showing a lot of speed. And making a charge for Ira right now, looking to possibly go the inside going into 3.
We're going to
stick to the outside.
He's going to run the outside. Ira, again, we know is probably going to have to come back down pit road. The safest way around, right, is going to be on the low side. I mean,
yeah, but the safest way around isn't necessarily the fastest way around.
That's true. Now you can see, now we have flip-flop of positions, right? You got 29 on the outside. What a beautiful run off Ira just got right there, though.
That's the biggest thing. I mean, the outside is, I think the outside is the fastest. Like you said, the inside being the safest, but I think you get such strong runs off of the corner on that outside, you're able to pull that gap back again. The 3 did the crossover coming out of turn 4 the previous lap, went to the inside. That stuck Ira up there on that outside, and he just got that good run coming out of turn 2, and he was able to stretch that gap coming down the backstretch.
Now, the question becomes, right, for Zach Lockett, when do you start saving? Right? I mean, we know that Ira, Kinsley Smith, Honeycutt, I think Ecker was even a part of that. I could be wrong. Back at Kentucky, when they were saving, they did it that whole last run. They say they had to save through that whole last run. So my question is when do you start saving? Do you start now? I mean, you about have to, right?
Well, I mean, I think as a driver, it's one of the things I think you're gonna have to pay attention to is what your tire wear looks like after like that 25 lap run. How much are you burning off of your tires? Because I mean, if you're burning off of your tires, if you're burning a lot off of your tires over the course of a 20 lap run, it may not be worth it to try to stretch this thing out to the end and try to save that fuel. So I mean, if you're burning, say, 20% off of your tires over the course of 20 laps, you've got to double that. You're going to be on some really terrible tires come the end of this race. So I think if the tire wear is bad, it may not be worth it to even save. You're just going to go out, run hard, and hope for another caution.
Yeah,
But I think if this thing's going to stay green, I would say you would probably try to fight for a little bit, and then you would have to probably start saving maybe after about 10 laps or so. Once you know that this thing is going to go into a green flag run, because you know that those guys in front of you are going to have to come down pit road, and the only other guy that you're really battling right now is Curtis Eckert, is the next closest guy to you on the fresher tires right there behind you. So like even if you got to let that 8 car go and pass you for a while, to save a little bit of tire, save a little bit of fuel, it might be the way to go. But with the way that this course of race has gone on tonight, I don't think really saving is going to do much of anything. I think we're probably going to see another yellow flag, and we're going to see all these guys coming back down pit road anyway.
Yeah, and the last thing that those guys want to see, right, it's going to be a caution within the next, call it 10 laps, right? Because what's going to happen is if that caution comes out within the next 10 laps, that's going to be the pit window for Ira and some of these guys that was last on pit road at lap 41. Right, and so you don't want to see a caution before then, because if you do, that's going to allow them the opportunity to pit. But now there's been a whole slew of cars that was on pit road at lap 60. My guess would be, right, for best case scenario for that strategy to play out for Lockett, I think Kinsley Smith is going to be trying to fuel save here too. I think it's going to be difficult for him because he's going to have to go quite some laps and do a lot of saving. So I think he eventually is going to have to pit. And I think you're right. It's going to become Lockett and Ecker's race. But I think the best case scenario for them would be outside lap 85 if the caution was come out, right? Because then that's going to trap these guys potentially a lap down, because they're going to have to come down pit road, green flag stop. Now, that would be worst case scenario for Ira and the guys that was last on pit road at lap 41. But the battle for second is heating up. You've got Teft, you've got Lockett, you've got Skinner all right here battling for second.
Yeah, I mean, and really, you look at it now, we've got 30 laps to go, so technically we are in the window to make it to the end regardless. So, I mean, even if we do have a caution, I mean, I really think we would see everybody come down pit road, because then everybody knows I've got enough fuel, I've got enough tires to make it to the end of this thing. It'll put everybody back on an even playing field, as now we see Kinsley Smith making his pit stop here. But it's going to put everybody back on an even playing field. If the caution were to come out, say, anywhere from now to the end of this race, but anywhere in the next 5 laps is, I think what these guys, Ira and Alex and William Skinner are kind of hoping for, because then, they're going to be able to come down, and you might bring everybody else with you, knowing that, okay, well, now we definitely don't have to make another stop.
Yeah, they're the ones hoping for the caution right now, right? Like, I mean, if you're leading the race, Ira and these guys that was last on pit road at lap 41, they're hoping for a caution within the next 5 laps. My guess is five laps, right? 5 to 10 laps. They're hoping for it. Lockett and company, maybe not so much, because if you get it outside that, again, it probably will still pull everybody back down pit road. However, I believe Kohlhaas and them would have to take a wave around, and they're going to restart at the tail end of the longest line, right? And so, right. I mean, that's just how that strategy is going to play out. But we'll see how it plays out. But I tell you what, Alex Teft is bringing the heat right now. And the last time and one only time that we've been here in the next gen cars, this race was won by Alex Teft. He knows how to get around here.
Yeah, absolutely. Showing a lot of speed right now. I mean, kind of, we got DeFore going all the way around. I see him get sideways down on the apron, but I lost him. Looks like he saved it.
Yeah, I got to him. He was back and headed in the right direction when I got to him.
But, like I said, we know that these top two, and, Ira and Alex are going to have to come down pit road. But, yeah, definitely the 43 knows how to get around here. He's just hoping for a caution probably within the next lap or so. But right now it looks like we're kind of spread out enough where we may not see one.
Yeah, and I can tell you one guy that has just not had any luck the last couple of nights has been Andrew Taft, and it's just been a tough night for him. Got tied up in that last caution, and comes in the points leader. This is going to shake up the points tremendously. You see the 4 is on pit road. Looks like he got a pit road speeding penalty. So now the question becomes, we know Kinsley Smith has already pitted, and we know he's going to be able to drive hard from here on out. Now again, Right here he is, and in fact, he is a lap down as they run. The question now becomes, when does Ira and Alex elect to come to pit road? Because right now, Zach Lockett will be the leader once this thing cycles out, and when does he start saving?
Yeah, I mean, I would think any time now for saving would be good. I mean, Curtis is going to have to do the exact same thing. So, like I said, if you start saving and the 8 doesn't, he's going to have a hard time saving at the end. You could possibly get it back then, but right now, knowing that the 29 and the 43 have got to come to pit road, I'm assuming probably within the next lap or two, because it looks like right now they're right around lap 40 or about 40 laps since the last time they were on pit road. So they're going to have to probably come within the next lap or two, I would assume, which is going to turn the lead back over to Zach. But I would say for Zach, start saving now, because like I said, the 8's going to have to do the exact same thing if he's going to make it to the end. And, if he's not able to save as much as you are, you'll be able to get that spot back.
Yeah, and right now, Ira elects to stay out another lap, so leave him back out front. You can see Alex Teft right in tow, Zach Lockett, Curtis Eckert, David Davis. That's going to be the top 5. Richard Otis battled back, Wayne Scott, Puffenbarger, Truth Hoke, Mike Hardy. That's going to be the top 10. You have Fettig, Pendel, Honeycutt, Kinsley trying to get himself unlapped. He will unlap himself at some point, I venture to say. Should be able to make it to
Alex
the end.
Coming down pit road. Ira staying out, Alex coming to pit road.
Trying to get that car woed down to bring him to pit road. And then Jesse Fox, that's going to be the top 15. You got Barry Nelson, Skinner, Taft, Thomas Kane. That's going to be the top 20. So now the question becomes, when does race leader Ira Kohlhaas elect to come to pit road?
I think he is coming right now. I think he just called it out that he's coming this time by, and yep, here he comes.
All right, so these guys didn't get the caution they needed. So now these guys want this thing to go green. They got to have it to go green, right? I mean, you have to. The race leader was right there. We'll keep an eye on it. You can see race leader coming around turns 1 and 2. Is going to be hitting the backstretch. Ira's still not in his pit box, so Ira will lose a lap. He'll have to unlap himself.
Say one of the things we'll have to keep an eye on here is the lap times of the 93 and the 8. Try to see if we're noticing that they're, whether or not that they're saving at all yet. I mean, we're down to just about 20 laps to go in this race. I think they just cleared 20, or we're coming to 20 to go. You can see Zach only running about half throttle right now, so he is trying to save.
We'll see what he does when he gets down into turns 3 and 4 here. So he's not beginning to clutch the car just yet.
Not yet, but he is definitely only running half throttle a little bit longer than what he probably needs to.
Yeah, that tells me, Russ, he's backing up the entries quite a bit, letting the car roll quite a bit longer. So now the question becomes, Kinsley's already been on pit road. You can see right there's Kinsley Smith. There's Alex.
Oh, we got a caution.
Caution.
That's going to change everything now for these guys that just came down pit road, and it's Ira Kohlhaas.
Yeah, you can see there goes Ira right there.
Looks like he got into the. I don't think it was that. Did the 21 lose it coming down pit road? He lost it. Looked like he missed the entry, or no, he got down onto the apron.
Let's watch it full time here. So Ira's there. Yeah, the 10 just wasn't expect. I think the 10 was trying to come to pit road. Yeah,
I think
the 10 was trying to come to pit road. Just didn't know the closing speed of Ira.
Yep. So now what do we do if we're the 93? Do we stay out, clutch it, or do we come down, get that splash, and go? And know that we've got enough fuel.
Well, here's the thing, right? This is going to be the question, because only one of these cars is going to get their lap back, and right now that's going to be the 15 of Kinsley Smith. Now, what Alex Teft, Jesse Fox, Ira Kohlhaas, the rest of these guys that just hit pit road, they need the top 9-10 cars come to pit road, and in fact, you can see right there they come.
They're going to get the, because that'll give them a waiver round, put them back in the lead lap, but they'll be on the tail end of the lead lap.
That's right. They're going to restart at the tail end of the longest line. So again, I talked about that, right? That is worst case scenario for Alex Teft, Ira Kohlhaas, those drivers that just hit pit road. That was worst case scenario. We talked about that. This is best case scenario for these drivers here. Wayne Scott, Lockett, Ecker, Ode, Brandon Honeycutt, even. This is best case scenario for those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is, what they needed and what the 29 and the 43 and the 3 did not need.
Russ, we've called quite a bit of races together. And every one of them has been interesting.
It definitely has. It definitely has. I mean, even going back to last season, I mean, we had some incredible finishes, some strange occurrences, and so far this season, all three races this season have been just absolutely incredible.
They have. But it started with that Daytona race last season.
Daytona race last season. Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's been a barn burner for us all season long. And the thing is we sit up here and we watch these races and we call it like we see it, right? We just do.
Yep.
We call it how we see it. And when you watch these races and how they play out, we talk about best case scenario, worst case scenario, fuel mileage. We talk about all those things. And there's times we see a lot of heartbreak in these races, and
I mean, it's just one of those things, and some drivers just kind of have that luck. I mean, it's like it kind of goes back to like the whole Denny Hamlin thing this season, just dominated that whole last race at Phoenix, damn near locking the championship up, like in his own words, 40 seconds away from being a champion.
Yeah.
And then to have it all pulled out from underneath him with the incident with Byron and the flat tire, and then the miscommunication, I'm going to call it, on pit road to take 4 tires when everybody else took 2, and then just wiped that championship right away from Denny Hamlin, in a matter of 40 seconds. And it just seems like that happens year in and year out to Hamlin, and it's just some of these drivers kind of just have that luck.
Yeah, but I can tell you one driver didn't. That was Zach Lockett. At Kentucky, he didn't have that luck. Tonight, he's had some of it. Again, he's going to bring us to the restart zone. The green flag is back out. We're back on the way. We know everybody can make it to the end here. 15 laps to go, and it's time to go. The pay window's starting to open, Russ.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think anybody breathed a bigger sigh of relief with that caution than what 93 of Zach Lockett did right there, because it was almost playing back to that same situation from Kentucky, where the one caution and the fuel mileage kind of unfortunately bit him. He was fast and dominant the whole night. He's been fast here all night tonight, and then you kind of see that play out as we're almost 4 wide going into 1. It was almost kind of that same situation playing out for him again, and now he can sit back, relax, and drive his best 15 laps to the end of this race and try to bring home this win finally.
I'm just watching this 3-wide battle back here. This is absolutely insane. Sometimes almost 4 wide here. I mean,
yeah, I mean, well, as I say, you got the 10 and you got the 98 who are a lap down, and you got the 29, the 7-11, the 15, all trying to battle their way by these lap guys, these lap cars of Mike Hardy and Andrew Teft, and the things are getting racy back here.
Yeah, and right now there's no time to waste, right? We're quickly approaching 10 laps to go, but Zach Lockett, Brandon Poffenbarger just laid down the 2 fastest laps of the race. Right now, we've not spent a lot of time talking about the 5, but he has found himself in a really, really good spot with about 12 laps to go in this event.
Yeah, having himself a really good race, really good rebound there from last week. Like I said, he seemed to struggle there last week, didn't really get a chance to talk about him much. Having a really solid night here all night tonight.
So move him up into P2. Ecker he's right there. I'm watching this battle here. You have Wayne Scott, you have Hoke, you have Richard Ode. right now trying to get through this mess. Again, right now, the guys that's held up right now, Kinsley Smith.
Oh, we got one down the front stretch.
Mike Hardy. If he stops on the racetrack, that could bring out a caution. And there it is.
There it is. And we're still wrecking. 43, 15, 7, 11 wrecking down the front stretch. 28 sideways. That's coming down the back stretch. Not sure what happened with those three.
Yeah, damage on the front bumper of Ira Kohlhaas right there. Yep, let's see if we can go back and find it, Russ. Looks like the 10 up into the 15.
That was up ahead.
Yeah, the 43 gets in there.
They're just too fast to close rate for that 43, just getting the back end of the 15. I want to go back and take a look at the incident with the 10, because I'm not sure if there was a little.
Well, I think it starts right here, so we'll start right here, right? Well, let's get with the 28, or not 28. Sorry, 20. Oh God, it's Mike
21.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get right here.
I'll say I think this here was a block gone bad. See the 98 coming down behind him, the 21 going to the apron, 98 following behind. These are the two guys I was talking about being a lap down, but they are battling each other for position.
There's a wreck right there. It just happened in front of them. Wayne Scott and that's what it was.
Yeah, both got together, and the 10 checked up. 98 was not anticipating it. Okay.
Yep.
I didn't see the 78 and the 10.
Yeah, so right there, so you see those two cars, the 10's checking up. Now you can see the 98 right there. Right. So then boom, there goes the back end of the 78. There goes the 10. And then Wayne Scott, we'll keep an eye on him. See if I can find right here.
So he was involved in something just back there. So I wonder if maybe he's got a little bit of wheel damage, and that's what got him tight there into one, shot him up into Kinsley.
Yeah, I mean you can see right there's the contact,
Sure,
right?
barely.
And then here comes
and
Alex.
That closing
Taft.
rate for the 43 is just nowhere for him to go. That closing rate was so fast.
And then the 43 checks up. The 29 has nowhere to go. The 15 sideways in front of him. There's that.
711 piling in there, 3 piling in, 777 piling in.
I mean, that's just worst case scenario right there. I mean, that just a lot of things going on there. That's going to bring us under 10 laps to go here tonight, Russ. It's been a wild one. You got Lockett, Puffenbarger, Ecker, Pendel, last season's champion, Kirby, Wayne Scott, William Skinner, David Davis, Alex Steff, we know was involved in that incident. Barry Nelson, Kinsley Smith. That's going to be the top 10. A lot of guys on pit road trying to get some damage fixed up. You got right here, you got Richard Ode, you got Ira Kohlhaas, Brandon Honeycutt. We know those guys, at least Ira, we know has already spent his fast repair, so we know he doesn't have any way to repair that car other than what the crew can get done on it. The lights is going to be out on the pace truck, Russ. We're going to have 7 laps to go when we restart this thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the fireworks are over quite yet. I mean, got a lot of guys that are going to try to fight their way back up. I mean, they're going to have fresher tires, but from what we've seen, those fresh tires just haven't really seemed to play much of a factor here so far tonight. So going to be interesting to see what happens further in the back of the field with these guys with the fresh tires. We might see some 3-4 wide action out of these guys trying to get around some of the guys with older tires.
Yeah, we're going to do our best to keep up with it. Right now, the first car on the freshest tires will be the 15 of Kinsley Smith. So right now, a lot of point implications tonight. Alex Teft, Ira Kohlhaas. It seems like just our points leaders coming into the night have just found trouble, or trouble's found them in one way or another. But we're going to have 7 laps to decide this thing. And I'm going to be honest, Russ, I don't know if we're done with cautions just yet.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, I think all this leader could do right now is get a really good jump, which he does, and just try to set sail and see how this thing plays out.
So the green flag is back out. Christopher Pendel actually gave a little bit of a shot through the back end of the 5 of Puffenbarger. No help there. The 28 is dead sideways.
Going to hang on to it.
He is going to hang on to it. We're going to stay right here, though. Ecker trying to get around the 5. Not sure if he's going to be able to clear it. You can see they're going 3 wide back here. You got the 3 William Skinner. He's rolling that outside. He's been up front for the big portion of the night, trying to battle himself back inside the top 5 right now. No change out front. This is
Truth Hope. Who saved it 3 wide? Nope. Truth Hope, Kenson Smith getting together. Truth got just a little bit loose. They're all able to gather it back up and save it. Yeah. Great save by the 55.
You can see right here, this is where a lot of the action's going on right now. Lockett, this is what he wants to see, though. It's what I was going to say. These guys need to figure it out. Here comes Pendel with a big run. He's thought about giving help to Ecker. In fact, he's not going to be able to. These guys are going to have to figure it out.
That's exactly what the 93 wants to see. You guys battle it out back there and let me just pull away.
Kirby hard into the wall and exit right there where we are at 5 laps to go. Right now, these gentlemen need to figure it out. Zach Lockett's starting to drive away. Poffenbarger, I believe, is going to be able to, in fact, he will clear there. So now he's got to set his sights in forward in front of him. 4 laps to go.
Yeah, it looks like Zach's got about a 0.6 of a second lead right now over Brandon Poffenbarger. As now Christopher Pendel is going to try to battle Curtis Ecker here for 3rd up there on that high side.
Yeah, and you can see, I believe, Pendel, in fact, will clear. So move him up to 3rd, Ecker 4th, Wayne Scott 5th. That's going to be the top 5. No change out front, though. And I don't think that, right now, still about 6/10 for race leader Zach Lockett.
Yeah, I mean, right now, all Zach is looking for is that white flag to try to bring home this win and lock himself into the playoffs. Picking up a win here in the 3rd race of the season. Definitely make the rest of his season just a little bit easier.
You can see a lot of racing going on back here. You got Truth Hope, you got Trevor Fettig, you got William Skinner, you got Andrew Teff back onto the lead lap. All these guys right here, they're all battling. Kinsley Smith, Richard Ode looking 3 wide, Kohlhaas in tow. Still no change out front. Pendel, Poffenbarger, 2nd, 3rd. You can see 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th all in the same shot. Call it 8/10 to the race leader, 2 laps to go.
Yeah, Chris Pendel looking to the inside of the 5, trying to steal 2nd away from Poffenbarger. He's going to get a good run here coming down the backstretch. Not going to be able to get it clear. Going to tuck back in beside and try to set him up, try to do it again.
So no change there. A little bit of a shot, almost. A little bit of a shot from the 8 of Ecker to the back end on the 94. Call it 1 lap to go here from the virtual Chicagoland Speedway. No change out front. Still 8/10. You got Zockett, you got Poffenbarger, you got Pendel, the top 3.
Yeah, I try to remain impartial up here in the booth, but I got to tell you, I've been pulling for this 93 to pull one off here. You know, I mean, he's my teammate over there at Adrenaline Racing, and I know he's really improved here over the last couple of years, put a lot of seat time into this next gen, and he's become really, really good at these 1.5 miles. And finally, Zach Lockett going to get redemption from Kentucky and pick up the win here at Chicagoland.
Move him to the race win. Poffenbarger's going to be 2nd. Christopher Pendel 3rd. Curtis Ecker 4th. Kirby Wayne Scott 5th. That's going to be the top 5. David Davis, Trevor Fettig, Truth Hope. That's going to be 6th, 7th, and 8th. Jesse Fox. Andrew Teff will come home, bring it into a top 10. You can see these guys, they like to have fun after the fact. And it's been a night of what could have been, right? I mean, when you take a look at the 29, this is a night of what could been. And, you know, we talked about it, worst case scenario, and that's what happened to 29. Ira Kohlhaas just didn't have the luck that he needed. Had one of the faster cars, him and Andrew Teft. So major point implications. But this man right here did exactly what he needed to do to bring home the checkered flag, did Zach Lockett.
Yeah, you know, I was talking to him before the race started here tonight, and you know, just didn't really say. He said he didn't really feel comfortable here. He said he hadn't really gotten a good grasp of how to get around Chicagoland, and you know, I just told him, you know, I was like, dude, it's run it like you're like you typically run your 1.5 mile tracks. I mean, this dude, like I said, he really understands how to get around the 1.5 mile tracks, and you know, that uncomfortability apparently got, you know, out of the system pretty quick because he got it figured out, showed a lot of speed up here all night long, and finally picked up the win here, locking himself into the playoffs, and he's going to fight for a championship this season.
So 3 races, 3 different winners. We're going to take a look at the race results, and you can see right there, Zach Lockett, Brandon Poffenbarger, Christopher Pendel, Curtis Ecker, Kirby Wainscott, David Davis, Trevor Fettig, Truth Hope, Jesse Fox, Andrew Taft. That's going to be the top 10. William Skinner, Barry Nelson, Kinsley Smith, Richard Ode, Ira Kohlhaas. That's going to be the top 15. Alex Teff, Brandon Honeycutt, Mike Hardy, Troy Thomas, Dennis Kane, Robert Richardson, Joshua Neal, Joshua Norton, and Timothy Eisbrun. That's going to round out the remaining rest of the field. Russ, let's see if we can get these guys in here. We'll start with you, third place. Let's see, who was it? It was Pendell. So let's get Pendell up here. Christopher, it's Brandon and Russ up in the booth. You got a copy?
How y'all doing tonight?
Hey man, not too bad. I mean, we didn't really get too much of a chance to talk about you last week. Showing a lot of speed here tonight. Able to pick yourself up a podium and get your season kind of back underway after bringing home that championship last season. Take us back through your race and tell us what you felt.
Yeah, man, I practiced there a little bit, and I tried to practice on the bottom and stay on the bottom and learn a little bit because 3 and 4 is really bumpy, and I didn't want to run the middle. I've seen a lot of guys on practices running the middle of the high lane, so I just tried to keep it on the bottom. I was hoping to run the bottom to save tires, and we just didn't have enough green flag runs to make it work out. But man, I'll take third. I let one get away last week. I don't know what happened last week, and I let one get away there, and then tonight to come back and finish third. Hopefully that's getting me, like you said, hopefully that gets me back on track and gets me started for some good runs here. And yeah, we'll take third, man. We'll see what happens next week.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things of, kind of getting that momentum back, and you obviously, you missed the first race of the season back there at Kentucky, but you came back the second week there in Vegas last week, and I don't remember how well I don't think you had a terrible finish, but it was just one of those kind of up and down nice. But tonight, we saw you kind of start in the back throughout the race. Drove yourself up. You had a lot of speed there, towards the end of this race, and thought you might be able to get Puffenbarger there for P2. But looking ahead to next week, I mean, we got that road course coming up. How you feeling about that?
Which track? Which road course is it?
We got Watkins Glen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't mind Watkins Glen. I think I'll be all right. I mean, if I can get a decent finish and come out of there with a top 10, I'll be happy. Road course racing, like, I'm a big Brad Keselowski fan, so I'm kind of like him on road courses. I just survive, get the best spot that I can.
Well, I was gonna say, up until then, I kind of liked you, but you just.
Hey,
no, I just, good.
No, I was saying I was a big Mark Martin fan growing up too. So now, then when he retired, I became a Brad fan, and then it's kind of full circle for me because he's in the 6 now, so it worked out. But yeah,
there you go.
We'll see what happens. I know you mentioned last week. I will say that I don't know what happened last week. There's some net code, and it caused me to wreck out at the end. But I'm trying to do my best to. Tonight, I was just doing my best to stay out of trouble and just work my way up front the best I could, and I was just biding my time. Like I said, I was really hoping we had some long runs because running the bottom, I think, was going to benefit me on the long run. We just never got the long run. So I'll take third and move on to next week, and hopefully I'm talking to you guys again. If not, that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and like I said, the whole thing, you coming back this season to defend that championship from last year, and like we talked, maybe just a little bit of a slow start so far, but I know we've got some tracks coming up that, I know you're fairly quick at, so I'm sure you'd be able to maybe pick yourself up a win and lock yourself into the playoffs. Give yourself a shot at winning back-to-back championships. But other than that, man, we'll go ahead and turn it over to you and then let you give your shout outs, buddy.
Yeah, thanks guys for broadcasting tonight. Thanks for Andrew. Like I say, every time I talk to you guys, I appreciate him. 3 or 4 seasons ago, he let me jump in Racers Elite, and I've enjoyed every minute here. I love racing these leagues with these guys. Thanks everybody broadcasts. My buddy TJ Lane, he's my paint guy. He's been having a rough time right now, so I want to throw a shout out to him and hope everything's well with him. And I can't wait to get back to racing with him. And to my Misfit teammates, it's awesome being in chat with these guys and talking with these guys and helping them out as best I can, and them helping me out. And I see my buddy Richard Odie. He's joined full season now, so that's good. I'm glad to see him with me this season, and looking forward to racing with him. But overall, just thanks everybody for watching and tuning in and supporting us, and I can't wait till next week.
All right, brother. Well, you go down there and celebrate with your team. Congrats on the third place finish here tonight, and hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to you again next week at the Glen.
I appreciate it. And congratulations to Zach on the win. He deserved that one.
All right, man. Take it easy. Thanks.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's going to be your third place finisher. And last season's champion, and I can tell you, it has been a relatively slower start, for Pendel, but he's starting to gain some momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think he had a little bit of a slow start last season, but I think he definitely came out of the gates a little faster last season than he did the season prior. So I definitely don't. I don't think it takes him out of it at all. Like I said, I know we're going to a few tracks that I know he's got some speed at, like Auto Club and Pocono. So I'm sure he's going to be just fine. He'll be able to, at least pick himself up one win, and be able to lock himself in. I don't have any doubts about that.
So let's see if we can get our second place finisher in here. Brandon, it's Brandon and Russ up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, it was a relatively quiet night, at least for you. I can't say the same for everybody else. You started deep in the field, chose not to lay down a qualifying lap, and then at the end of this thing, found yourself in second position. Take us through your night and how you was able to avoid all the calamity, all the chaos that we've seen here at Chicagoland.
Yeah, just trying to keep my nose clean, stay in the back for the first half of the race. I did get caught up in that one wreck between the 82 and the 13, but other than that, I was pretty clean all night. Just trying to save the right front, stay as low on the track as I could. But if I needed speed, I had to be up at the top, so it was a pretty healthy balance to do that.
So take us through what would have been that final restart. We had restarted with 7 laps to go. That side by side with you and Ecker ultimately was kind of, to me, what would have been the decision, kind of the deciding factor, allowing Lockett to get out to about 8/10 of a lead there. What more could you have done to maybe cleared the 8 a little bit sooner than you did to maybe have made a shot or made a run to attempt to win this thing?
I think probably just get a little bit better start, even though I thought I got a good restart there. I was trying to hang on to Zach in the turn 1, but he had a better restart. So I think that's the only way I could have had a chance, is enter into turn 1 and 2 side by side with Zach. But once you were in the clean air, it's pretty hard to get through that and make the pass.
So next week we're going to be headed to Watkins Glen. It's been a little bit of a relatively slower start for you and your 5 team. What's the thoughts heading into Watkins Glen and the rest of the season here on Thursday nights?
Watkins Glen should be fun. One of my better road courses. But yeah, the rest of the year, I'm looking forward to it. Just trying to stay out of trouble, try to finish top 5, top 10, and just be there for the chase.
So I'm sure you probably have maybe some friends, family, sponsors, some people you'd like to give a shout out to, man. Now's the time to shine. Give them a shout out and enjoy this second place victory.
Just Andrew for putting this stuff on. You guys for putting on the show. Everybody for coming out. Shinko. And that's about it.
Again, man, congratulations on your second place finish, and we'll see you next week when we roll into the Glen.
Sounds good.
Thank you, man. That there, Russ, is our second place finisher, Brandon Puffenbarger, and I could tell you it's been a little bit, much like we talked about with Pendel, right? It's been a little bit of a slower start for Brandon. We know he's fast, and he's showed speed, especially a lot last season. So maybe this is the momentum and the time to change that season around. And you heard what he said: top 5s, top 10s, and be there for the chase.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the biggest things. Like I mentioned earlier, try to find that consistency and try to put yourself into a position to be able to make that chase. And Brandon definitely has the speed. We've seen it out of him. Like you said, just a little bit of a slow start to the season so far, but this one finish, it might be a momentum changer for him, and might start seeing him back up front and maybe even winning races here shortly.
I know this is the moment you've been waiting for, so we're gonna get our man in here, Zach. It's Brandon and Russ up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, got you guys,
brother. I got to talk about it.
Oh,
So from the So from the heartbreak of week 1, where you just dominated the whole race there at Kentucky, and losing it on a fuel mileage game for guys that saved 6 and 7 laps worth of fuel, and I'm sitting here through this race, and I'm watching these cautions, and I'm watching the pit cycles play out, and I said to Brandon here, I said, I'm kind of getting deja vu to this situation again, because we were talking about, like, you would come down pit road. I think it was the second to last pit cycle, and I said, that's going to put them about 6 or 7 laps short of making it. And I'm like, it happened against him in week 1 at Kentucky. I'm like, and we were talking about it before the race started tonight, of that whole situation playing out. And then that caution came out right after the top 4 that needed to come down and make their final pit stops, made that pit stop. And that caution came out, and I'm like, I guarantee you that there is nobody celebrating harder for this caution than that 93 car, because he knows that he's got the chance to come down and get that fuel and be able to run this thing to the end without having to worry about getting beat by a fuel mileage game.
Dude, yeah, this felt really good after that happening in that race. And you're exactly right. I came down to that caution. I think there was like 42 to go, and I had about 35 laps of fuel, and I'm like, you know what, I might do it. And then I ran 1 lap, and I'm like, screw it, I'm not doing it. And I put the pedal to the metal and went all the way. I just used up everything I could to get back to the front. And then at that point, I just kind of figured the cautions weren't going to stop, and they didn't. So it all landed perfectly into my lap there. And that very last run, I think it was Ira in front of me and Alex Teft, and they went in, and I was about 4 or 5 laps short. And I was fixing to go in there soon to top off and maybe take rights. And once they went in, that caution came out, trapped them a lap down, and I'm like, this is literally all that karma just playing into my hands. So it worked out perfectly.
Well, and that's exactly what I said. I was just, like I said, I was looking at those numbers, and I'm like, oh no. Not 2 races in a row.
We were in a predicament there. Yep. And then that caution came out, and I was like, we got it.
Yeah, because me and Brandon were talking about the whole fuel mileage game, and the possibility of you and Curtis trying to save the fuel to make it. And Brandon kept asking well, when does Zach start saving? When does Zach and Kurt start trying to save that fuel? And I'm looking at the numbers, and I'm like, if I'm Zach Lockett, I'm like, I'm probably not. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Brandon, but did I not say, like, I don't think I would be saving fuel, because I'm going to bank on there being another caution.
Yeah, and that was some of the things that we had discussed, right? Was you kind of get the feel of the race, right? And we had those quick cautions early. We had the 3 quick ones early. It just never had a long run feel to the race here tonight. And so it was a matter of the driver and the decision making, right? Do you choose to drive hard and do exactly like you said you did, or do you choose to save? And again, it was when do they save, or do they? And it was kind of a coin flip all night long for us up here in the booth.
Exactly. Yeah. And usually I kind of bank on it going green in this league. It just wasn't, the best night for all of us, which is, it happens. But, once we were at that, 7 cautions or so, I'm like, okay, this is not going green. So I'm going to go for it, try to get back up front. And then, like I said, the caution just had played out perfectly in my favor. So, I knew I was pretty fast all night and could make my way back up really at any given time. So just had to have it all play out in the right, right formation for me.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that that we were talking about was those different situations, like for the 8 or for Ira and the 3 and the 43.
Yep.
It was like after we went back green, they stayed out. You guys pit, and we had said man, it was like they're gonna need a caution within 7 laps, because if they come down and we get a caution after, we're in the window. We're within that 30 lap window where everybody can make it.
Yep.
So I said, we were talking, okay, if they're going to get a caution, they want to see a caution within 7 laps, but Lockett and Eckert, they don't want to see that caution until about 8 or 10 laps.
Right. Yep.
And it was that was how it kind of played itself out.
Yep. Absolutely. I trapped them a lap down. They had to take the wave around. And then I came out 4 fresh tires and, utilized the restart zone. I thought I executed that perfectly. I saw a couple times that where, Brandon started to creep up on the outside. And he would, he can't pass me obviously on the restart zone. So once he kind of crept up a little bit there, that's when I would go and, he'd had to lift a little bit and it just, I was up 3 or 4 tenths of a second by the time we got in turn 1. So just tried to use that first car and that restart zone to my advantage, and I thought I did pretty well at that at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's even what I had said was just like if you can nail that restart, I think no matter who all night long on those restarts, it was as long as that leader was able to nail that restart, they were able to get away. It was kind of that way all night long. But
yep. And then
but
so
yeah, yep. But I mean, you got your redemption. You got the win here tonight. You locked yourself into the playoffs. So now, that takes that little bit of that pressure off for the rest of the season. Now going into next week, we go to Watkins Glen. How are you feeling about that?
So
I know you're not too shabby on the road courses.
No, and I like Watkins Glen, and what the tough part is that's actually another one I'm going to have to miss. So it's going to be the last race that I'll miss this season, but I won't be here for it, unfortunately. The one I was looking forward to it too, man. I like Watkins Glen. I like putting in work to get better on road courses, but that's why I'm so glad to have one to be locked in because I did miss last week, and then I'll miss the next week, and then that's it. So. Unfortunately, I'm looking forward to the week off after that, and then I think it's Gateway, which I really enjoy. So we'll definitely see you guys back for Gateway.
Like I said, I brag about you in the booth. I mean, you've improved so much over the last 2 years since you and I both kind of came into the service just right around the same time, and really been putting the time in, improved, gotten yourself a hell of a lot better than I have over the course of the 2 years that you've been on the service. So,
hey, you did great at Chicago Street the other night, so you did.
Yeah, I was
credit for that.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed with that. But I'm sure this isn't. I'm sure this isn't the last time that we'll talk to you up here in the Winter Circle this year. But for now, buddy, we'll turn it over to you and let you give out your shout outs.
Yeah, shout out to everyone at Adrenaline. That includes Russ and Brandon as well. Thank you guys for being a part of the team here and broadcasting every week. Really appreciate it. And everyone else, John Ross, John McNeil, Nate Brzezowski, everyone who we race with, day in and day out, and really love racing with everybody there. And of course, got to give a shout out to the sponsor, Goat Racing Diecast. Chuck has all the diecasts there available, and he sells them out of his home there in Pennsylvania, and is a great guy to go buy diecast from, and also is a very avid sim racer. So really appreciate him. Whiplash Sim Cams on the car, and then Amir Paintworks here for painting it. Really appreciate this beautiful 93 Toyota Camry. So yeah, that's about it. And of course, got to give a shout out to Jerry. Of course, got the banner on here tonight, thinking about him. And my dad beat bone cancer about 10 or 15 years ago. So I know what it's like to to go through some tough times, and we're always thinking of all those people, and especially Jerry. So yeah, thank you guys so much.
Appreciate that, Bubba.
Buddy, well,
yeah,
let's say congrats on the win again tonight, and like I said, I'm sure we'll be talking to you real soon up here again, buddy.
Hope so, man. Thank you. See you later.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you in a minute.
And that was our race winner. And sometimes you don't have the luck fall the way exactly you need to, and he didn't at Kentucky, and then tonight he just did.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't really doubt him for a second. I mean, he gets into that habit of saying he's not comfortable at a certain track, but then he goes out there and he's fast. So he's one of them ones like the Andrew Teff, where I don't believe what he says half the time about how he feels about being in the car, because he ends up racing a totally different way. So, I mean, it was no surprise for me that he was going to be strong here tonight, and he's definitely going to be strong all season. I think he'll be a strong contender for the championship. Not just saying that because he's a teammate of mine, but just like I said, over the course of the last 2 years that him and I have been on the service, like I said, we both got on iRacing right around the same time. I mean, he has skyrocketed his ability, particularly in this next gen car. It's what he's really focused on. Spent a lot of time behind the wheel, putting in the testing, putting in the practice, and it's really no surprise to me that he found victory lane here tonight.
3 races, 3 different winners, and I can tell you, I don't, who knows who's going to be the first time repeat winner. You know, we're headed into Watkins Glen next week, the road course that we have for the season, and we know that could shake some things up when we get there. But it's been an overall just an amazing Thursday night right here for the Next Gen Cup Series. And I'm just excited for how the season looks from here on out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, going into next week, Watkins Glen. I mean, I know there's a couple of really strong road course racers in here. I'm sure we'll keep our eye on, on Kensley Smith and Brandon Honeycutt. We know that those guys are usually really strong on the road courses, but maybe, maybe one of these newer guys that have joined in could secretly be a kind of a road course ringer there and be able to make an upset next week at Watkins Glen. So definitely make sure you guys tune in next week as we go road course racing at Watkins Glen. Again, I want to say thank you to everybody out there for helping to get Racers Elite to over to the 1,000 subscriber mark there on YouTube. We mentioned it earlier. Big accomplishment for us here at Racers Elite and the Racers Elite Network. So thank you to everybody who tunes in each and every week and supports us here at Racers Elite Network.
Yeah, and I want to say I want to give a shout out to our entire team here on the Racers Elite Network, Russ. And there is a collective group of people. We have a different group that calls races on Tuesday night, a different group that calls races Wednesday night. Me and you on Thursday. They'll be back again tomorrow, and then all the special event stuff that Andrew puts on throughout the weekends. And so it's a collective group of people, and we've seen some record numbers coming in from all the viewers at home. And again, we want to say thank you, much like Russ said. I believe a couple of races ago we had almost 40 concurrent viewers for a major duration of time, so that's really cool to see. So a lot of eyes is being put down on these drivers, and I think that's one of the things that makes Racers Elite so much fun to be here. I want to again say thank you, Andrew, Racers Elite, the Racers Elite Network. We all again say thank you. We'll be back here, Russ, next week. We're going to tackle Watkins Glen for the first road course of the season. Until then, everybody enjoy the rest of your Thursday night. Tune right back in here tomorrow night for the Racers Elite Network, where we'll be having our Super Speedway Series, and we'll see everybody next Thursday. Everyone have a good night.